Well, here's one for you, man. The Daily News has published the 50 most powerful New York people in sports. Now, this is based on influence, socially, politically, economically. Number 1 is James Dolan, Roger Goodell, number 2, and Derek Jeter, 3rd. But here we go. Mike Francesa is 8th on the list.
Look at that.
How about that?
Wait a second.
Yes. And
Eight.
Mike Lupica is number 12. And here it comes. Mark Chernoff is number 35.
All right, I love Chernoff.
How about that?
Way to go.
I've always liked Chernoff.
Pretty
He's
heavy.
a program director, operations manager at WFAN, one of the nicest people on God's earth.
Great guy.
Oh, man, what a great
Man
guy.
of integrity.
I'm glad I'm on the list.
So, I love this, that Francesa is ahead of Lupica.
Yes, he is.
There it is.
That's
Are
what he
you?
got.
Took you a second.
And it's a Daily News poll.
Oh, man.
That's right.
That stings.
Wait a minute.
That stings.
It's written by the Daily News.
Wait a second.
Hey, send me a
what
list.
What difference does
This
it
would be
make?
great for Vinny from Queens coming up. Hey, Carly, send me a list of that, would you please?
I got it. You got it.
23 after the hour here in the IMUS of the Morning program. Bernard McGurk's going to have a briefing coming up. What's ahead, B?
We have Mike Tyson and a man who claims his penis was amputated by mistake.
What?
He went in to get circumcised and
Oh,
came out.
Wait a
took
second.
off too
Wait a
much.
second.
Yeah,
Wait a
nothing there.
second.
Ladies and gentlemen, IMUS in the morning.
you know what's really great is this list that Warner Wolf was talking about earlier this morning in the New York Daily News in New York. From James Dolan to Derek Jeter to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell to John Mara of the Giants, a daily news poll of news sports scribes and editors, along with authorities from around the country. They weighed in on which New York personality wields the most power and registers the greatest impact economically, socially, politically across the New York sports landscape. And here's what's fascinating about it. The only number 1 is James Dolan, then Roger Goodell, then Derek Jeter, then John Mara, Hal Steinbrenner, Phil Jackson, Bud Siddick, and then Mike Francesa.
Yeah.
Hey,
How great is that?
Unbelievable. Wait a second.
a heavyweight.
Because he constantly gets made fun of by everybody. But here, and by the way, there's nobody. He's the only radio. He's the only media personality, radio or television, was in the top 20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
that's right.
My boy got some juice.
And then the readers did a. What's this now, Warner?
Well, then the readers weighed in on the Daily News' list.
Sure.
And their list is Derek Jeter is number 1, and Mike Francesa is number 2.
How about that?
No surprise.
By the way, nowhere on the list is anybody from ESPN Radio. Nobody.
No,
not in New York.
nobody.
They're still on the air?
Not Michael Kay. Nobody.
No, none of them.
In fact, our old friend Susan Waldman, who, by the way, everybody forgets, they were going to fire Susan Waldman. Remember when we went to FAN?
Sure.
When we left NBC?
Mm-hmm.
They were going to fire her and a couple of other women.
And guess who kept them there?
And I caused a stink about it.
Yep.
I love Susan Waldman. Well, what a nice lady. Girl could sing, probably could still sing. She's ahead of Boomer Assassin and Phil Simms.
Yeah.
That.
What?
And the only columnist at number 21 is Lupica. Well, then he's ahead. There's nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy. I love Francesa.
Where's Mad Dog on it?
No, he's not on here.
No.
He's been out in New York.
Mad Dog's nowhere.
Mad who?
Marv
I
Throneberry.
love Francesa.
What?
What?
Marv Throneberry is on the people's list.
Oh, on
what?
the people's list.
Well,
What?
poor Francesa's always getting hammered by Raceman, which I, by the way, find amusing. And
Hey, where's Raceman on the list?
he's not on the list.
No.
Or the guy at the Post, what's his name? Mushnick.
Nope.
He's nowhere here. Well, it's unlikely that on a New York Daily News poll they would have anybody from the New York Post.
Well, it's a pretty honest poll for the news to have your own guy no better than 21st. Very good.
Lupica?
Yeah. Honest poll by the Daily News, the news writers, I mean.
Right.
Right?
Well, I bet Lupica's really annoyed. I haven't talked to him, but, well, he would just dismiss it.
21?
But he would. No, he would pretend that he didn't care.
What?
One, he'd pretend he didn't care.
No, that's right. He would.
His own paper.
And he'd just dismiss it as being frivolous and nonsense.
All right.
But meanwhile, he would just be eating him.
Now, what page was that on?
Who's ahead of him? Well, nobody. I mean, they're all people who own teams and stuff, commissioners, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rex
yeah.
Ryan.
All big time guys.
But I just love the fact that Francesa is 8.
Way ahead of him.
He's way ahead of everybody.
Lupica way ahead of.
I mean, the only people who are ahead of him are the commissioners.
Had a Wilpon, had a Carmelo, had a Woody
Yeah.
Johnson. Had all these guys.
No.
This is really great.
It's a good list.
Like, Francesa was already out of control.
Oh my God!
Forget about it.
It's probably
This is so
there's
great.
probably 700 copies all around his studio.
Oh, man, I love it.
Blown up, yes.
Put that
Hey,
one.
listen.
That one above Studio A. Put this one on my chair.
Francesa's got that, man. He stood up for me. Well, when it was not in his interest to do so, by the way. He and Mad Dog, so.
When I can stand up, I will stand up.
I love Francesa. Now, he's got a great heart. I mean, you can say whatever you want to say about him, but he's on the number 2 on the readers list.
Wow.
Yeah. Bigfoot alerted
Well,
me to
this is so great, I can't stand it.
Cheater. Good lord.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm. This is actually is, yeah.
All right, 10 minutes after the hour. Vinny from Queens, speaking of sports, we're going to talk about all that coming up.
It's done.
Back to
Fait
something.
accompli.
Vinny from Queens is coming up. Back to sports for a second. When was this poll published?
Bowman brought my attention to it. I think it was published Wednesday.
Yesterday's paper.
Yesterday's
It was a
paper.
pullout in
Yeah.
yesterday's Daily News.
Yeah.
Why wasn't I made aware of this yesterday?
We'll have our staff look into that.
I would have watched Francesa or listened to him. Well, I'd have to watch him. Then he's still on that Fox Sports 1, isn't he?
I think so.
Yes, sir.
Although he's never on when you look there. They always have some UFC thing or
Or some car race.
some
or something.
sock car race or something. But and they're gonna find Jimmy Hoffa before you can find Fox Sports 2.
Fox Sports 2 is tough, yeah.
Amelia Earhart, that girl will turn up before you can find whatever. So. Well, that's enough news. 23 till the hour time here on the IMUS The Morning program for Betty from Queens, in which we talk sports.
Yeah.
Warner Wolf, Lou Rufino, Guns Gunselman, Tony Powell, and the great Nat Candido.
Oh,
Hey,
The great-
my man.
So we have
Let's
this.
go, let's go.
We're talking about this morning. We have this Daily News poll in which they ask people who write for the Daily News, their editors, but then people from around the country, they all weighed in on which New York personality wields the most power, registers the greatest impact, economically, socially, politically, across the entire New York sports landscape. And there is, and Mike Francesa is number 8. And what's significant about that is the people who are ahead of him are James Dolan, Roger Goodell, Derek Jeter, John Mara, Hal Steinbrenner, Phil Jackson, and Bud Selig. So most of them commissioners of some sport. And then the readers, they did a readers poll, and Francesa is number 2 in the readers poll. So the fans think that. And if you look at the list, there's one newspaper columnist on it. And that's Lupica.
Right.
So they're suggesting that no one. I mean, this would be a pretty accurate poll. Do you agree with this, Warner?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Why
What
don't
do you
You mean
think?
what specifically with Lupica or the whole
Well,
poll?
no, just the whole list.
Well,
I mean,
there's no, as far as powerful goes, I think it's right on the nose with James
Yeah.
Dolan.
Well, how about Francesa, our guy?
Oh, yes. I mean,
Yes.
sure. Absolutely.
What do you think, Nat?
I'm fired up about this morning. I was talking about it with Tony in the green room. I agree with a lot of it. I disagree with a lot of it. Tony thinks that the guy that sells peanuts at Yankee Stadium should be on it before any Met, and I was just going off on him this morning. But
No, actually, I said the guy that holds the orange flashlights that directs the traffic in the parking lot.
Well, you just
He
sound
should be on it
idiotic when you
before.
say something like
That's
that.
hurtful.
But the Alderson and the Wilpons are on this list. They shouldn't be. They have no power. They've done nothing for this team in the past 3 or 4 years. I don't know why they're on there. Then I see Susan Waldman on there, and I'm like, what? Where's Howie Rose? Where's Gary Cohn? Where's Joe Beningo? This is ridiculous. Okay?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Susan Waldman. George Steinbrenner's box. Roger Clemens. I'm so sick of her, Imus. You don't even know.
That's a good imitation.
Yeah,
She's
that
a
was
very
pretty
nice,
good.
Good.
she's a very nice lady.
Well, I don't know about
She's a
that,
friend of
Susan.
mine. Leave her alone, you fat idiot.
I think
Isn't it amazing?
Francesa. I think
my apologies,
Francesa's
Medusa.
good. He's right up there because I mean, this is the man that once the Pope got announced, you might recall he knew that was the Pope that was going to be announced. If you listened to him live on the air that day, and also I mean, literally everyone looks up to him like he is gospel with everything he talks about. The other day, somebody called and asked him if they should invest in Facebook stock. So this is literally what people think about Mike Francesa. So
I love this.
It's insane, though. Mike Lupica is a national sportscaster. He's got a national TV program. He's on ESPN Radio, best-selling author, one of the premier sports reporters in America, and he's 13 spots behind Francesa. Francesa. Mike's TV audience could fit in an El Camino. What are we talking about here?
No, but
His
we're
radio
talking about
audience is big, though.
we're talking about the radio audience is huge. But FAM, Chernoff is on the list.
And the best part is the only Met that they have is Matt Harvey. They don't even have David Wright up there. So that just shows you
Well,
where
no,
the Mets
David
are.
Wright really doesn't attract a lot of either positive or negative stories. But, I mean, Jay Horowitz is on there, which number 50. I mean, he could have got at least in the 40s. I mean, that guy's great.
Jay Horowitz.
God, that's the media director for the Mets, Imus, in case you didn't know.
That should
I know
be-
who it is.
We know.
I actually know him. You fat moose.
God, just get a new line, please.
No, you know why I haven't got a new line?
Why? Because
you're still a fat moose.
Because I'm still a fat moose.
When you're no longer a fat moose,
Okay, now
then
tell us
I'll
how
come
great
up with
Guns
something
is.
else.
And then you'll be on the list, Nat.
Yeah.
I should be.
19.
Where's Warner on the list, by the way?
Leave Warner alone.
No, I
19
was-
till the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program.
Ahead of Lupica. Hey, come on.
They had one Hobbit on the list already with Lupica. They
wait
could
a
have two.
second.
Oh, my God.
Guns the Giant over
Without,
here.
come on, you guys, settle down.
The Cowboys haven't won a playoff game in 19 years, going 8-8 last year. Here was Jerry Jones.
I know on paper we're a better team with our defense than we were on paper that was lined up against Philadelphia in our last game of the year.
Well, how about that, Jerry?
Jerry.
Well, guess you don't care much about that.
No, I don't, Warner. Here's the thing, Warner. When you play a cut from Jerry Jones,
Yeah.
and then you go to me with my lame impression of Jerry Jones,
No, it's a good impression.
Very good.
well,
Yeah, Lupica wrote about it.
no, he did.
Yeah.
Number 21.
So Lupica's my friend. So
Yes.
21.
I can't wait to talk to him today. Well, I wonder what his comment about the list will be. Once you have his number, well, he's not going to. Why? He's just not going to want to comment. So.
His own paper.
Well, he's the only columnist. He's the only newspaper columnist on the list. Period.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Of anybody.
It's an accomplishment right there.
Yep.
Yeah. But he's 8 slots, or maybe more, below Francesa. Francesa, who's number 8.
Yeah.
The only people ahead of Francesa are James Dolan and people who are commissioners of various sports leagues. So,
Crazy.
Derek Jeter.